Okay, so number 4, this is section, what, 2.2? It's PC 20, 2.2. This is question number 4 in your homework. It says, for each description, in which quadrant does the terminal arm of angle theta lie? So the initial arm is along the x-axis. The vertex is at 0, 0, because we're talking about standard form. And so where does the terminal arm lie? Is it in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? So let's take a look at this. Cos of theta is less than 0. That means for A, cos of theta is negative. Now what we want to remember is our cast rule. C, A, S, T. So for A, if cos is negative, guess what? It's not in quadrant 1 because cos would be positive. And it's not in quadrant 4 because cos would be positive. So it's got to be in either 2 or 3. So if we look at the last part of here, sine is positive. Okay, so sine is positive. So here sine is negative, so it's not here, so it must be in quadrant 2. So you just kind of piece things together using the hints that they give you here. Okay? So B, cos is positive. Okay? So that could be in quadrant 1 or 4. You see? Cos is positive here, cos is positive here. And tan is positive as well. So if cos and tan are positive, we can stroke out this one. So it's got to be in quadrant 1. Okay, so that's A and B, and I'll let you finish the rest. I don't know what questions I gave you on that, if it was all of them or not, but that's your start for question number 4. Does that help? Any other questions? Okay, so here's a little bit on number 16 as well then. So number 16, the question says this: if cos is positive 1/5, okay, positive 1/5, and tan is positive 2 root 6, determine the exact value of sine of theta. Okay? All right, so I guess the first thing I would think of here, cos is positive and tan is positive. So that's going to be in quadrant 1, looks like. Okay? Because the only place that cos and tan are both positive would be in quadrant 1, where they're all positive. Okay? Everything else, all the other quadrants, there's only one trig function that's positive. So this has to be in quadrant 1. That's the first thing we want to notice. So if you remember this little memory mnemonic here, right? Sir Coxertix, you know that cos is x over r. So cos of theta is 1/5. So that means that x is 1, and what? R is 5. That's what that looks like, okay? And if we piece together tan, what's tan? Tan is y over x. So tan being 2 root theta is 2 root 6. So that looks like it could be, well, we don't know what that could be, right? So 2 root 6 has to equal y, and we don't know what y is, because we know what x probably is and r probably is, but we don't know what y is. So tangent is y over x. Well, x is 1, looks like. So what is y? It appears that y would be, a cross multiply here, y is 2 root 6. So what we want to do is we want to take the available information and we want to try and piece together x, r, and y. Now let's just make sure that makes sense. What you can do is you can put this into a right angle triangle and make sure that Pythagoras' theorem works. So let's try that. So if I've got x is 1, and I've got y is 2 root 6, and r then should be 5, okay? So let's see if that works. So I'm going to just do over here, I'm going to do 1 squared plus 2 root 6 squared should equal 5 squared. Let's see how that looks. 1 plus, if you do 2 root 6 times 2 root 6, that's 4 root 36, or 4 times 6. What's 4 times 6? 24 equals 5 squared, which is 25. Does that look good? That looks good. So the value of sine now, so now that we've got all the pieces, the value of sine is y over r. So I'm running out of room here, but I'll just erase some of this stuff here. So the value of sine theta, has got to be y over r, or 2 root 6 over 5. And that's simplified, you're good to go. So tell me, is this the correct answer for number 16? I guess I did it all for you. But is that the correct answer? Could someone double check that? Yes? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so that's how you do number 16. All right? And again, I wasn't going to do the whole thing for you, but I just kind of got rolling there. So that's number 16.